What's poppin' T Squad? It's me, Keisha, aka Color Me Pynk, and I'm here with this week's All Tea, All Shade, Ready to Love, Season 7, Reunion Part 1. I drop videos Monday through Sunday. Everything that I say is for entertainment purposes only and not to be taken seriously or literally, meaning my jokes are Jones. So if that works for you, let's get into this review. But I want to remind you guys that this Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central Time, I will be dropping my interview with actress Christine Horn, who played Mabel on this past season of BMF. And she also starred on Snowfall for 3 seasons playing Black Diamond, which was one of the female hitters that worked for Franklin. You do not want to miss this interview. It is so informative, so good, and just such a great story. And she is just so personable and beautiful, and you just learn so much about the behind the scenes things that go on BMF and Snowfall. And next Friday, you guys, at 6 p.m. Central Time, my interview with Winter Williams from Love and Marriage DC will be dropping. And baby, she dropped some exclusive tea on some things that we can be expecting going into the second half of season 2. You don't want to miss that either. Let's get into, however, this review of Ready to Love Reunion Part 1. So Jeffri and Andre segment kicks off everything. You know, at the end of the season, they ended up choosing one another, and Tommy asks, are they still together? And Jeffri says that after the finale, she did not hear from him. Andre was like, I feel like I'm being attacked. There were things that bothered me that I couldn't address during the process. And she was like, okay, I'm going to tell you what those things were. When we went out to dinner, and he said, I want to know why the fathers of your children aren't present. Do you want to call them? And she was like, Black men do this every day, leave their kids. And Tony and even Tommy was like, no, that's not true. Some Black men, not all Black men do that. So she was just like, Dre wanted to find a way out. Now, this is my thing with Andre. Child, you were there for the show. You were there for the opportunity to be seen on television. And what you mean that there were things that bothered you that you couldn't talk about during the process? Everybody else talked about where her baby daddies were. Why couldn't you? If that was something that bothered you so much, it was something that your sister brought up during the conversation when she met her. It was a topic that Tommy spoke to her about. Like, you could have talked to her about that if there really, truly was an issue for you. And at the end of the day, she let you know what it was. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody asking you to come in to be a ready-made father to these kids. Y'all are still just very much dating. I think that, once again, he just came on there to be on television, child, and just wanted to make it to the end. This man can't even decide on a haircut, let alone a relationship. He country as hell. Why is this man at this reunion wearing capris? Why is a grown, able-bodied man out here wearing capris? That is unacceptable. Unacceptable. Hell, I'd be mad if it was a woman wearing capris, but let alone a man. You literally came onto this reunion in a capri suit. Let that sink into your head. Jeffri should be happy that he walked out of her life, because them pants need to walk out of his. And then here she come thinking she a part of X-Men with this storm wig on. I'm like, both of y'all crazy. Both of y'all are crazy. Neither one of you love yourself at this point. Like, it's obvious. But he full of crap. Then we get to Corvea, who I loved. I loved Corvea. I think Corvea needs another chance if they do Miami again, which I doubt they will. But, you know, she got labeled as a gold digger just because she had firm rules on what she wanted and what she didn't. It's just like any man that come out here and say, I need to date a woman that's a particular size, or, you know, that don't have no kids, or that doesn't have short hair. What's the problem with this grown woman coming and saying, I want a man that has money? Who want to be with a broke man? I don't. I need somebody that's fiscally responsible. I need somebody that will be able to either match what I make or make more than what I make, okay? I don't want nobody that is that makes less than me. Been there, done that. It's always an issue and a problem. No, I need somebody that's going to come elevate my situation, not take away from it. So she says that she wants a man that is a go-getter. So why would she pursue a man that isn't on point about his finances? And she said that, she wants generational wealth, and, she wants to have children, and she grew up in a family that didn't have anything, but now they have money, and it's not about being taken care of, it's about being able to provide for your children in the way that you weren't. And I don't see a problem with that, because it's the same thing with me with my son. I grew up in a middle class home. I never went without anything, but the things that I've been able to provide for my son far exceed what my parents were able to do for me. You know what I'm saying? And he's accustomed to live in a certain way based off what I do for a living and the lifestyle that we live. You know what I'm saying? And so now he doesn't want anything less than how he was raised for himself and his future family. So that's all about what you expect for yourself and moving forward, and what you want from, for your life and for your mate. And so Lyndon was like, initially it was just carried across with negative energy. And so obviously there's an issue between Corvea and Lyndon that I was unaware of, because Corvea was like, when I was talking to DeMario, it snowballed into Lyndon doesn't fit into that because he has a roommate. But that has nothing to do with me and how you felt, but how you felt as a man with DeMario, who is confident in that situation. So Lyndon was feeling some type of way about her saying that she want a man with money and don't want no man that got no roommate. And that's okay for her to say that. I, as a grown adult woman, don't want to date no man with no roommate. I don't want to have to censor myself when I come over to your house and have to worry about, can he hear us? Or I can't walk out the room naked. And if I'm trying to get my back cracked, I got to be quiet. Like, I don't want no man that's got to split the rent with somebody else. Absolutely not. Not happening. So I do feel like Lyndon was just feeling some type of way about his inadequacies. And then it had nothing to do with Curveya. Okay. So Lyndon was like, I just met you 20 minutes ago and you're saying I have to go to therapy in order to date you? Like, that's too much. I don't think that she's off the bat saying, okay, we date, you just got to immediately go to therapy. I think that she was saying that if I date you and this is a long-term thing, I think that it is a good thing for us to go to therapy to, work out any issues before you get married. I think that's just the same thing as going to premarital counseling. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what she was trying to say. So then Lyndon brings up how Jeffri told him that Corvea said that they kissed. And she was like, I don't remember saying that or whatever. So she's denying that happened. Then we get to Lyndon's segment, and he says that, yes, he was intimidated by the connection that Tony and Morgan had. And Tony, however, did not know that Morgan and Lyndon shared a kiss when he was eliminated. But Lyndon lets us know that he has him a girlfriend now. So good for him. Happy for him and his roommate and his girlfriend. Blue section is up. And he didn't really do much this season. So I was surprised he even got a segment, child, because I forgot he was even there, child. Tommy was like, what attracted you to Blue, to Janique? And she was like, he seemed to be very sweet, but that perception of him changed after the elimination. When I left, he was like, oh, now that you aren't on the show anymore, you can just date me. And he was like, yeah, I said that. But Janique was like, it was in the context that it was better now because we can date more. I was confused by that section. Was it just me? I was confused until she said, and also when I spoke to other men, they said it was Blue who chose not to use the lifeline on me. I'm like, so he purposely got me off the show so I could date him. And he denies this, but the guys backstage was like, yes, he was the one that did not want to use the save for her. So I'm guessing it's a situation where he wanted her to get eliminated so none of the other guys could date her and he could have like an exclusive thing with her and not have to worry about the competition. I don't know, but I just don't see it for him anyway because he looked like somebody pawpaw. So absolutely not. Janique is too young and hip to be dealing with Eeyore because everything about him is dry, slow, and boring. After that, we find out that Blue, however, got a boo thing. He done moved on like Maya. And he is dating none other than Kayla from last season of Ready to Love. And she comes out. And we find out they've been dating now for a few months. And one of the ladies, however, that is a part of this current season, I don't remember her name, she was shocked by this and even said that she was like, I'm surprised because me and him just talked recently. And Kayla was like, Blue talks to a lot of people. She still got the same nasty disposition as she did on last season. I'm like, look at her, Tina Turner. You and your muscles can go on somewhere because ain't nobody got time for you and your foolery. We already had to deal with you last season. Ain't nobody trying to put up with you this season. So old girl was like, well, from the conversation we've had, I just didn't see this coming. I just hope it's sincere. And she refused to divulge what was said during their conversation on stage, but backstage we see her and Blue having a conversation, and she says to him, if Kayla knew about the conversation we had recently, she would be feeling some type of way, and he even agrees. So obviously he ain't as committed to her as he claimed he was on the stage. Girl, all these niggas ain't shit, okay? So Susu and Blake are dating. Congratulations to them. Boring. Morgan, Tony, and Lyndon's segment comes up, and Tony says that Lyndon broke the bro code by telling Morgan what he said about he could have her if Marcia was still around. Child, that ain't no bro code. You said it. I'm gonna take it and run with it if it's gonna help me. You shouldn't have said it in the first place. But he does, however, apologize to Morgan once again. Morgan and Tony, we find out, however, after the season finale, continued to date. I knew that because their relationship is just so toxic. And I knew that they had already smashed during the season because the way that they was acting towards each other, that was strictly based on the fact that they had bumped uglies because they was way too involved in each other for it to just to be some, mutual just conversations and talking and maybe a kiss or two here or there. Nah, they had smashed already because they was way into their feelings. So she says that, she wanted to be courted. She wanted to be taken out on dates and given flowers and things. And I guess he said that was something that he was willing to do for her so they could have that experience. But then he says that he became entrenched in his day-to-day life, his children, and this, that, and the third. And Morgan calls BS because she was like, you knew that when you came into this situation, like, stop. She was like, you fumbled, you had a diamond in your hand, and you dismissed it because you didn't care enough. And I agree. I think it was more so about the chase and proving that he could pull Morgan than anything. And Tony was like, you're not going to come here and disrespect me. I'm talking now. Start doing that bass in his voice, giving me eternities, and I was just not here for it. I'm not here for how he get to talking to folks when he feeling some type of way. And he was like, I cared about you, Morgan. I have feelings for you, Morgan. But you know what? You missed your blessing. It's cool. And Morgan said, boy, I will destroy you if you don't shut your mouth. Like, Morgan went into mama mode. Like, she got 10 kids and she was ready to take off her belt and whoop him. So Tony says that their attraction is toxic, honey, and she did not like that at all. But I'm like, no lie was spoken, girl. Y'all whole situation is just a Jerry Springer episode in the making. And so Morgan says that, he's not a good person. And then she goes as far as to call him a monster. And Mark Anthony was like, come on now, Morgan. And she was like, shut your ass up and stay over there. Baby, that tickled me. And so she says, I just wouldn't say that for no reason. She was like, he's cold and he's cruel. And he needs to go talk to somebody about it. And it's obvious that he got anger issues. It's so obvious. So she gets upset and walks off stage, and he follows her, and she gets upset and starts to cry. And he's like, I just want to talk to her. And she's like, Tony, just give me a minute to be by myself. Just give me a minute. And he's saying, I need to talk to her. And she was like, when I wanted to talk to you, you were nowhere around. You could have talked to me 6 weeks ago. And she slams the door on him. And it's left on the to be continued for next week's episode. Child, they need to just leave each other alone, but that whole situation ain't done. Because like I said, the sex is probably too good. They got that angry sex, that make up to break up sex. That's what's keeping them together is the sex, child, and nothing else. The sex, and it's redonkulous. Overall, though, the reunion was pretty good. It kept me very entertained. I'm going to give it And A minus. It was cute for what it was. It was nice. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about it down below in the comment section. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. You guys, I love you, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.